Good morning, Charlie O'Hara here, and for our legal segment, 436-1212 is the number to call if you have a question. Good morning, Charlie. Good to have you back.
Good to be here.
Although we really enjoyed Morgan last week. She's
good.
Fabulous.
Thanks.
We have time for some calls this morning. We're going to go ahead and get right to the phones. Hi there. What's your question for Charlie?
Hello. My daughter had a car accident back in 2003. There was no injuries. She is now receiving from an attorney. He wants her to pay $26,000, and we don't know we don't know whether we're being swindled. She doesn't know what she needs to do with this.
Well, I mean, initially it sounds like somebody's being swindled, but I don't know all the circumstances, and obviously all the facts can make a difference. Something happened in 2003. If you weren't sued, the statute of limitations, which means they can't file anything, has long passed, so you would not owe that debt. If you were sued, if your daughter was sued back then, never went to court, they took a default judgment. In other words, she wasn't there. They took a judgment, and then it kept earning interest. It may have got exceedingly high. So I don't know the circumstances. You might want to go to an attorney. That's a high bill. You might want to go to an attorney of your own choice and have that attorney contact the other attorney and see really what's going on. I mean, if it's something that happened and your daughter neglected it, it can probably be settled reasonably. If it's something that shouldn't be there, the attorney will take care of that too.
Well, because that sounds like a huge difference there from what they originally quoted.
But as we all know, if you don't take care of something, it keeps earning interest, and then fees come up, and attorney fees come up, and it could get real high, you know, in 10 years. That's 10 years ago. Okay.
Thank you, Charlie. Good luck with that. Thank you for calling in. We have time now for another call this morning. Hi there. What's your question for Charlie?
Hi, I was wondering, how do you go about getting your record expunged of misdemeanors that happened 20 years ago?
Well, you can do that. Now, there's always, what expunged means, and I'll say it again, is you can actually get rid of your record so that the public can't find out about it. Now, that doesn't mean other people can't find out about it, like the government or licensing authorities, like attorneys, the Bar Association or the Medical Association for doctors. Everybody can find those out, but you can actually have your record taken away so you don't have it. And there's a procedure to go through. You can do that yourself, or you can hire an attorney to do it. A lot of attorneys do that. The only caveat I have about that is, with the internet now, people can a lot of times figure out that record even though it's been taken off the government rolls, because the internet has a lot of things that don't get erased and it stays there. And a lot of times an employer is going to find that anyway. But if the employer is okay with you expunging it, then it's gone and it doesn't exist, and you can swear you never had a conviction.
So you're saying you've gone through the time, you paid the money, and then you can still, they're still going to be able to find it though on record.
Well,
old record.
Old record or something, or somebody can go through your arrest records and find you've been arrested. I mean, there's ways that they can find it if they really want to.
Okay.
But for a lot of employers, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, 20 years ago, somebody's changed, I hope, since then.
Okay, yeah. 2 decades, quite a long time. Thanks,
Yes.
Charlie. Thank you for calling in. Good luck with that. We have time now for another caller this morning. Hi there. What's your question for Charlie? Hello. What's your question for Charlie today?
Yes, I was calling because I currently have an attorney, and I'm suing a local hospital for an incident that happened with me. And I hired my attorney back in August, and he has been kind of putting me on the back burner ever since, making me monthly appointments, kind of telling me the same thing over and over again, and I don't see anything happening. Do I find another attorney, or how do I go about talking to my attorney? Well, I mean, because it's almost been a year.
Okay, well, obviously you can choose an attorney of your own choice. When you have an attorney, you can always switch attorneys. People get into it with their attorneys. That's just part of the business, kind of like they do with their doctors or their accountants. People get in arguments with people, especially attorney business, because we fight a lot. We have to fight with everybody at some time. So that happens. But if you're not satisfied with him, you can switch. What I'd advise you to do is go in and talk to the attorney and tell the attorney what your concerns are. Most attorneys will answer that. I mean, we try to take care of our clients and be reasonable. Sometimes we get quite busy, and sometimes it takes a lot longer to do things than people think it should, and the legal system moves slowly. So I'd go in and talk to the guy and have some real communication before I switched. I think that's the best thing to do.
And then if you're really just not satisfied with the answer, then consider switching.
Yeah, and sometimes there's just personality conflicts. Some people get along with some people don't.
Okay, well, I'm glad we get along, Charlie. I'm glad you're here today.
Okay.
Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.
Okay.